Hello again. Just because I want to get the key elements of the World of Oggs out there as soon as I can, so you can all start creating, and then we can get to the exciting bit, which is the storytelling, which we can't wait. I just wanted to do. You'll find that I'm overloading a little bit with videos first of all, but from then on in, it will be much easier, much smaller little snippets of ideas that I'll just check out for you. I'm showing you right now some of the Oggs that some of the children have made over the years. And like I say, they normally go home with the children, but every now and again I get some that people let me keep, which I'm really pleased about. I've also been told by my youngest daughter that I need to smile more on the face video thing. So if I don't look like I'm smiling, I am smiling inside, but sometimes I've really taken this seriously, so I forget to smile on the outside. But anyway, putting that aside, I shall smile, and so shall my little Oggs. And so this is one. I cannot remember the name of many of these. The only one I did remember the name of, I can't find, so I can only assume Clive has gone out on a mission somewhere. He always travels with me to the different schools and everything, so maybe he's in one of the other bags that I've got full of bits and bobs, or he's out doing what he likes to do, like every Ogg likes to do, which is explore and discover all sorts of things. Okay, so I can't show you that one, and the reason why I wanted to show that one in particularly is because it had a detachable tail, and that was just the coolest thing I've ever seen on an Ogg. But anyway, I've got these ones with me today. So we've got this lovely little one, and I just want to show you some of the sort of close-up bits. Like, look at all that beautiful stitching on the outside that the child that made this has gone to so much effort. They've chosen different colours around each arm and leg, and different stitching, going over some of the stitching time and time again. They've chosen to stitch on the outside rather than the inside, so we can actually see all this detail, and that is just lovely. I mean, for his little hat, we've got a little bit of a jumper, a sleeve of a jumper at the top, and this beautiful fluffy hair from some really amazingly fluffy wool, and little eyes made out of two lovely little buttons, and then again all around the face, different colours and what have you. And when it's all in one piece or put together, you've got a really tactile, colourful, interesting, quirky little Ogg. And this Ogg has told many a story, but today, because I'm making it up as I go along, like I always say, I haven't got his little diary with me to show you for these ones, because these are the ones that travel out with me a lot. So that's number one I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you different styles of Oggs so you get an idea of the different. Right, now this little one, because Oggs don't have to be big, Oggs can be any size you want. And look at this gorgeous little Ogg with these amazingly long arms, tentacles, legs. It doesn't matter. It's an Ogg. It's exactly what the material wanted to be, and the child wanted to use the material to make it be. Okay, so you've got these gorgeous little beads as eyes at the top, secured on, again, lovely stitching all around. But it's very, very, so if I put it in my hand, it just sort of sits up. It's got these amazing qualities. However you put it, it just kind of just melts into you, and he's just such a gorgeous little character. So that's another one of my little favourites. I'm going to move on to this one now. So this one's got a very distinctive black and white approach to all its detail. And again, chose fluffy white wool to do on the outside. And I know I'm really showing you things where you might think, oh, but we haven't got all those materials. If there's any way I can get materials to people, then talk to me through email, fd@francinedavis.art, and I can see how we can process that, because I wouldn't want anyone to feel like, oh, but I really want to make one, but I can't. I'm sure there are ways around this, even in this really difficult time. So anyway, let's show you this one. He's got what I'm going to decide are two arms, but I might be really, really wrong. I do make lots of assumptions sometimes, and I think I said in the other video, I get it wrong all the time. There will be other reasons why. This could be his tail, for example. This one here could be his arm, his legs, and hence why he's got one leg that sits up there and one leg that dangles down. It doesn't matter. It's just the fact that it causes us to go look at it and observe it and kind of infer things about it and just have a conversation. Yeah. And like I say, I'm not giving any of them names because I think that's something that even when you look at them, you could come up with the name before we get going with making them ourselves. You could already start to think, oh, that's definitely Bruce, or that's definitely I don't know, Jilly, or whatever. Think of names. I can't think of any names that I've never heard of a Jilly. Anyway, so there you go. Again, nice and soft and tactile and lovely, lovely, lovely. So there's another one going over there. Let's move on to another one. Yeah, I can remember making this one. This is one of my friend's children that came to the house. And again, she just said, I just want something to do that with. So very random stitching. If you're worried about not being able to sew, you can see you don't need to do lots of sewing, just need to be really, really technical. It's about creating the Og to be as you would like it. So in some instances, it might be that rather than using needles, you actually take a piece of material and you just tie bits around. Sorry, I don't mean to hurt the Og. No Ogs will ever be hurt in this process because they are very, very, very adaptable and very flexible and willing. In honour of the message of the Og, which is to get more Ogs out there, they're willing to go through quite a bit. So you could just tie bits of string round areas as well, so you can create characters quite quickly. It's there's just so many ways to make sure that you all feel that you can be included in this. What I hope is a fun. What is it? A fun experiment of how many Ogs we could bring into the world, or just a fun activity for you while you're stuck at home. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, it's very, very tactile. And the different materials as well. This is an old pair of tights, if I remember. And again, very, very soft, because we would have wanted soft. And I think missed the detail. Look, there is a little hole there. So I think perhaps it was the one-eyed Og. Excellent. And if we turn it that way, perhaps this may have been the mouth. You never know. See, you just can't make an assumption about an Og, because they will just keep on presenting in different ways until they finally got their point out there. Okay, let's look at another one. This one is a little crazy little dog. I know this is a dog because it was one of the ones my daughter made. She was trying to make our dog, and and it is very, very cute. Lots of fluffy, woolly hair, and this wool, again, just little short bits of wool threaded through. There's no bit of material that you can't use. Look how tiny. She made little leg warmers for his legs, so there is no bit of material that you need to waste, because that is just the tiniest little bit there, and that produced the leg warmers. Little buttons for his little jacket, or her little jacket, and just gorgeous, textured, interesting, quirky little characters. Another one of my favourites is this one here. It was, to me, again, not wishing to impose what it has to look like, but I think it's very seahorse-like. And so 1, 2, 3, sort of four or five little bits of material put together randomly, different types of jumper, different types. That looks like that's come off a lovely furry cushion or something, I don't know. Perhaps I had some random bits there, jumper there, little extra gap there. Not sure what it is. It'd be interesting to think about what that could be. And little bits for legs, etc. Lovely wobbly eyes. Woo. And nice little patch for hair there. So yeah, another one. So you see how different they all are, and I can't remember for ages, but sometimes it won't be that it was a younger child that made a more random one. This could be made by a sort of 10, 11-year-old, it's just how you feel you want to present and play around with the materials. And as I've often been heard saying, how the materials talk to you as well. That's a key part of it. We've got here, this one I remember was called Peanut. Again, another random. In fact, if you look at it this way, it's got quite a nice little face. And again, very textured. And I hope that will show you again that even just creating almost like an amoebic shape, just a single cell, you can still get so much personality out of it. Ooh. And look, you've even got little legs or arms and tentacles here coming on the top. And who knows what these stripes might be for? You just never know. And that could be a story in itself. Okay, where's another one? Oh, there was a really, really tiny one somewhere. Where did he go? Oh no, I've shown you that one already, haven't I? Okay, and this is another little character. It's very, very smart in a beautiful little woolly, I think that's a little tank top, isn't it? Yeah, gorgeous trousers. Look at those with little turn-ups at the bottom. Yeah, and oh my goodness, even a belt. That is awesome. Lovely little feet there. Lovely jumper underneath his little tank top, and crazy hair. We love that. And I'm to smile. Okay, so that's another one. And oh, look at this one. What a cheerful face if that met you every morning, or if that's what you went to bed with at night. That's really lovely. But this is a bit of an example of like sometimes that just looks so soft, but it's actually quite itchy. It's one of those sorts of materials. So perhaps that's its special power. Because let's face it, an og will have a power. It'll have a reason why it's come. It'll have a reason why it wants to communicate something to you, your family, your friends, and the wider world. Okay, so before I finish this one, because again, it's a little introductory one so that we can start seeing and answering perhaps questions if you're struggling to make things. All I'm trying to do today is show you that these are just random bits of material that have been put together. Old jumpers. This was an old jumper. Those were old tights. That was an old jumper. And I've used different bits of the old jumper, or they have used different bits. So, you know, this you can see by the pattern on here of these legs here. This is the cuff of a jumper. And I'm going to show you one of the other ogs. I think I have used her in some of my drawings lately. But Clarissa, I'm just going to dip down here a moment to get Harry out if I can. Here you go. I want you to really see that it does not matter which item of clothing that you use, because look at this. Do you recognise what that is? It's a bra strap. Yes, so her beautiful belt is actually made out of a bra strap, and I would imagine there's quite a lot of things that could just sit in that belt. That's quite a powerful addition to Clarissa's outfit. Okay, is there anything else with some of the other characters as well that I could suggest to you as to the quirky, interesting bits? Oh, there's one. Yeah, Graham. Graham here is wearing a pair of lovely jeans, and if you notice that, yeah, my goodness, that is a pair of jeans. And it was, I just took a little bit at the top of the jeans and then just kind of made them. I never try and do anything like a pattern. There's no need for a pattern with an og. It's about taking the material and then seeing how you can create something with it. So you get some quite random shapes to them, but then that's when they get really interesting, because look at his shape. He is just such an action og, isn't he? And you know, and that's the whole point of them. It's not about trying to get too hung up, because often when you get too hung up on things like that, then you do start to think, oh, I can't do it, or I'm not very good, mine doesn't look as good as that. The more individual your og is, the better, and the more fun. Well, I don't know the more fun, but a lot of fun can still be had by not following a pattern and such. Okay. I know what I'm going to have to do eventually is perhaps sit here and try and make one, but that would be such a long video, so I'm going to have to work quite hard on that one. So in the meantime, I want you to be talking to, if it's a child watching this, then talk to your mum or dad, and obviously your sister, brother, or whoever's looking after you with you at the moment. Talk to them about what sort of clothes that you might have got, because please, God, please, if clothes aren't ready to become ogs, they just won't work. So you don't want to ruin anything. So you need to make sure that you've got permission to use some of the clothes that you might go into the cupboards to get. Like I say, anything from even a pair of old pants. I've made ogs out of my husband's underpants because I like the pattern on them and such. And, you know, and other bits. I mean, God, as I think I said in one of the other videos, Granny Annie, if she saw a pair of pants, she would just find a carrier bag, attach it to that, and then she'd just parachute around the room. So, you know, really any item of clothing, obviously things will be clean. Yeah, just let your imaginations open wide and let the ogs in. So I suppose the next stage is encouraging you to start to look at different materials, look for different materials, look for bits of string or bits of wool or anything really. Because don't forget, even some of the jumpers, if you are taking an old jumper and you think, but I haven't got any wool in the house, then look to see if some of the jumper could unpick. So you could create some wool. Like I say, I feel really sort of frustrated. I have got so many materials that I would be happy to get to people. And like I say, this isn't a commercial thing. I'm not making that the point of it. You don't have to. I just want to think. I don't want you to feel like you can't do it. So please get in touch if you're really thinking, oh, my kids would love to do this, but we just haven't got needles. We haven't got this, that. Because then I can take it to that next step, level then, where I can see, right, okay, we need to work out how we can source all this. So this stage is look for your materials, start to just observe them. And what was someone else saying to the other day where their children in school, observe, watch and infer, look at a jumper and just think, look at the sleeve and think, does that sleeve, like with mammoth, does that sleeve suggest it wants to be something else? Could it become a pair of legs? If we cut it in half, could it become a body? Could it become a really nice shaped head? Or if we turn the corners, maybe we could, all sorts. There's all sorts of things. Oh, it's so exciting. So please do spend a bit of time and do involve parents in this stage, making sure that you're allowed to use any of the items that you've got. And then I will work on my I've got to make it little, haven't I? Little video to show you how I would start with some of the bits that I've got access to. Okay, thank you very much, and I shall see you again soon. Bye-bye.